Good morning, America. Thanks for being here with us today. I'm Vanessa Broussard. We are awaiting a press conference right now, set to start any minute, with Border Czar Tom Homan. Homan, as you know, has been on the ground in Minneapolis and will be updating us on enforcement operations in Minnesota, including recent ICE activity and coordination with local and state officials. Again, that's set to begin any minute now. We have an eye out on it. We will bring that to you live as soon as it begins. As we wait, a breaking exclusive report coming out of Ohio. Athens, Ohio police and the Ohio University police are investigating credible threats made to the Ohio University Turning Point USA chapter. Sources tell me that TPUSA students were setting up a table on campus yesterday to register new students. That's when they received word of death threats being made on a popular anonymous app called Yik Yak. We have obtained the post. You're looking at them now. As you can see here, the first post asks, does anybody know how long TPUSA is going to be on campus? The first response, until I come with my gun. Someone then replied, well, direct message me when that is. I'll be there to prevent anyone from stopping you. Now, in a second post I've obtained, the thread then reads, anyone who supports the current administration doesn't deserve to be alive. And in this next thread, a user posts, that's odd. Why do I not get the right to free speech just because you disagree? To which someone replied, you don't deserve to be alive to begin with. So why are you even speaking? The University Police Department was notified of these threats and sent out this news release late last night saying they have been made aware of the threatening social media posts that made reference to Turning Point USA being on campus. OUPD is actively investigating the situation. They go on to say they take all threats seriously and ask anyone with information to contact police. Sad to see there on school campuses, there is no room for threats or the people attacking the freedom of speech from these Turning Point USA students, but that's the world we're living in right now. Good thing that the police are investigating. I hope they get to the bottom of it, and we'll keep you posted. Now, the partial government shutdown has ended and is now back open. Good news there after a slim majority voted to pass the spending package. The bill officially ends all taxpayer subsidies for radical woke programming on NPR and PBS. It slashes $10 billion in wasteful foreign aid spending, cuts funding to abusive, weaponized IRS programs, builds on the Republican recessions package passed last summer, and it fully funds our military, including a well-deserved pay raise for all American service members. It also makes historic investments in American shipbuilding, continues funding deportation flights. President Trump signed that bill as soon as it passed. Now, we're still waiting, though, on the SAVE Act to be passed. There's a big push in Washington to get that done. But Senator Thune says there's so much to do. Maybe that's not a top priority right now.
The enormous difficulty of doing that. In fact, the big majority have not been able to.
Right. Well, you know, I guess, and I would just remind people that the coin in the realm in the Senate is floor time. There's a finite amount of it, and we have a lot of things we have to do. There's a housing bill that's awaiting action, hopefully a market structure bill, possibly permitting reform, farm bill, highway bill. You can go right down the list. Russia sanctions, there are a whole bunch of things that could be teed up for action on the floor of the Senate. And so you have to make some judgments, and the conference will have a conversation about that. I've committed to that we will talk about that idea and determine whether or not what the conference's views are about it and how they want to proceed. As I said, we will vote on the SAVE Act, but exercising or triggering a talking filibuster has ramifications, implications that I think everybody needs to be aware of. So we will have those discussions, but that's obviously ties the floor up for an indefinite amount of time with not only unlimited debate, but also unlimited amendments.
All right, rather we had the Senate Majority Leader and the Speaker of the House speaking at the same time.
Well, there you have it from Thune. Our Allison Steinberg, she caught up with Representative Steve Scalise in the halls of Congress. Here's his take.
We're really concerned about the SAVE Act, making sure that gets passed, and I know it's not going to be attached to the DHS funding bill, is my current understanding.
Yeah.
How do we...
Right now, the Save America Act's the new version.
Yes.
So it's the Save Act, plus we've added voter ID.
Right.
I'm a co-sponsor of that bill. Chip Roy refiled the Save Act to include what's now the Save America Act. And I was in the Oval Office with President Trump.
And now we want to go to Tom Homan. He just started his press conference in Minneapolis. Let's take a live look at what he has to say.
Office, and Ron Patello, Senior Advisor to the Commissioner of Customs and Border Protection, Border Patrol. Us three guys got just shy of 100 years in law enforcement, immigration enforcement. I've worked with Ron 30 years ago in Dallas, Texas. He's been with the Border Patrol's entire career. During my press conference last week, I reported I had productive discussions with various state and local officials, including Governor, Attorney General, Mayor Fry, and law enforcement officials about increasing coordination in a lawful way between the county jails and ICE to avoid public safety threats being released back in the community. While we had our differences, one thing was clear: we all committed to public safety for all who live in the Twin Cities. We have made significant progress under the direction of President Trump, working with state and local officials here in Minnesota, and I expect that to increase in the coming weeks. We continue to have discussions. I'll have discussions this afternoon. We currently have an unprecedented number of counties communicating with us now and allowing ICE to take custody of illegal aliens before they hit the streets. Unprecedented cooperation. And I'll say it again. This is efficient, requires only 1 or 2 officers to assume custody of a criminal alien target rather than 8 or 10 officers going into the community and arresting that public safety threat. This frees up more officers to arrest or remove criminal aliens. More officers taking custody of criminal aliens directly from the jails means less officers on the street doing criminal operations. This is smart law enforcement, not less law enforcement. It's safer for the community, safer for the officers, and safer for the alien. This coordination also makes it far more safe for the Twin Cities. Arresting a public safety threat in the safety and security of a jail is the safest thing we could do. Further, less public safety risks are being released back into the communities, reduces recidivism, so local law enforcement can direct their limited resources to other public safety matters in their community. This is another priority of President Trump. The state prisons already cooperate with ICE on this coordinated transfer of custody, and we thank them for that partnership, and we plan to do more with them. I also want to reiterate and emphasize we are not requiring jails to hold people past their normal release time for immigration purposes. We're not asking anyone to be an immigration officer. We are not asking any state or local official to do immigration enforcement activity. They are not. By merely notifying us before they release them, they don't hold them 1 minute past they normally would. Given this increase in unprecedented collaboration, and as a result of the need for less law enforcement officers to do this work in a safer environment, I have announced effective immediately, we will draw down 700 people effective today. 700 law enforcement personnel. We have also fully integrated CBP personnel into the ICRO team structure under one unified chain of command. Not 2 chains of command, there'd be 1 chain of command here. Any large enforcement operation I've ever been involved with, there's 1 chain of command, and that's where we're moving forward. During my press conference last week, I announced that moving forward, ICE will be conducting targeted immigration enforcement operations, like ICE has traditionally done for decades, based on reasonable suspicion to question and detain. ICE will conduct these operations and transnational criminal organization investigations with a focus on national security and public safety. I want to be clear. Just because you prioritize public safety threats don't mean we forget about everybody else. We will continue to enforce the immigration laws in this country. To help execute this, we have developed and implemented a multi-agency surge task force within an operational framework that clarifies lines of effort, integrated enforcement, investigative and special response efforts. A unified joint operations center has been established to manage all operations and ensure efforts align with priorities of the mission. This reorganization also enables ICE to leverage joint intelligence capabilities to effectively target threats, as well as to reduce the overall personnel footprint and enhance public safety and confidence in the agency's capabilities and presence here. I have also ensured that officials from legal internal affairs offices remain on the ground as long as this operation continues. During our efforts to identify and implement improvements of how operations are planned, conducted, and managed, we identified a gap in regard to the use of body-worn cameras. This was actually raised by the workforce when I started walking around talking to people here. Some officers and agents had them, some didn't. That inconsistency was unacceptable, so we moved immediately to prioritize full body cam deployment in the city. I discussed this with Secretary Noem a couple of days ago, and she made the decision to deploy them. The plan is to deploy them nationwide, but it's a priority for the city right now. There's actually $20 million in the spending bill to further fund the deployment of body cameras. The President is supportive of this decision because we have nothing to hide. We want to be fully transparent in what we do. The American people seek and deserve professional and trustworthy law enforcement, and I and the President expect that any misconduct will not be tolerated and will be swiftly addressed. The integration, structuring, and resources we have implemented would help ensure accountability and that targeted enforcement operations have a focus on national security threats and public safety threats, and they are conducted effectively, safely, and appropriately. Again, this is smarter enforcement, not less enforcement. For those who are not a national security threat or public safety risk, you are not exempt from immigration enforcement actions. If you're in the country legally, you are not off the table. And let me be clear, President Trump fully intends to achieve mass deportations during this administration, and immigration enforcement actions will continue every day throughout this country. President Trump made a promise, and we have not directed otherwise. I heard rumors we have, untrue. Given that many public safety threats on our communities, many of which poured across the border during the Biden administration, it makes sense to prioritize public safety risks right now. Again, prioritization doesn't mean you forget about everybody else. But we have a criminal here, a non-criminal here. The criminal has to be arrested first because they're the biggest threat to the community. My goal with the support of President Trump is to achieve a complete drawdown and end this surge as soon as we can. But that is largely contingent upon the end of the illegal and threatening activities against ICE and its federal partners that we're seeing in the community. We will not draw down on personnel providing security for our officers. I will not let our officers be put at risk. So we will not draw down on personnel providing security and responding to hostile incidents until we see a change in what's happening with the lawlessness of the impeding and interfering and assaulting of ICE and Border Patrol officers. It is against the law to forcibly assault, resist, oppose, impede, intimidate, and interfere with federal law enforcement, including ICE officers and Border Patrol agents. Doxing law enforcement to threaten them and their families because they're executing their sworn duties to enforce immigration law that Congress passed is unacceptable. And it's shameful and incomprehensible to me that this unlawful and threatening behavior is being tolerated by anyone. As far as what I saw yesterday with the roadblocks being set up, you're not going to stop ICE. You're not going to stop Border Patrol. The only thing you're doing is irritating your community and want to go get groceries or pick the children up or whatever. I talked to the chief of police, and he committed to taking swift action on those illegal roadblocks. They're illegal. We shouldn't tolerate them. Again, a complete drawdown is going to depend on the cooperation, continued cooperation of local and state law enforcement, and the decrease of the violence, the rhetoric, and the attacks against ICE and Border Patrol. The federal law enforcement personnel, ICE and CBP, and other partner agencies are patriots. And they've carried out their duties patriotically, with integrity, with professionalism and compassion. I've said this many times, these men and women don't hang their heart on a hook when they come to work. President Trump and I strongly stand with them in the critical work they do to prevent harmful or otherwise dangerous people from entering or remaining in this country. As part of the surge operation here, numerous criminal aliens have already been arrested. We've arrested 14 people who had homicide convictions, 139 people with sex-related offenses, 28 gang members. Correct me, 139 assault convictions, 87 sex offenses, 28 gang members have been arrested, just to name a few. We're taking a lot of bad people off the street. Everybody should be grateful to that. Who in their right mind would want these dangerous criminals walking around their communities? Everyone has a constitutional right to peacefully protest. President Trump and I, we completely support that. At the same time, professional law enforcement officers should and need to be able to perform their sworn duties without being harassed, impeded, or assaulted. I want anyone to report instances of alleged misconduct or wrongdoing. There's a way to report that. The Trump administration is taking violations of 18 U.S.C. 111, which is assaulting, impeding, interfering. We're taking that seriously. If you violate the law, you will be federally prosecuted. In the past month, 158 people have been arrested for violation of 111. 85 cases have been already accepted for prosecutions. The rest remain pending. We've had 9 indictments of those who raided the church, and additional cases are being worked. Additionally, I've been saying this for almost a year now. Hateful, extreme rhetoric against ICE personnel is completely unacceptable. Please stop. I said back in March of this year, if the hateful rhetoric didn't stop, I was afraid there would be bloodshed. And there has been. President Trump and I, Secretary Noem, none of us want to see any bloodshed. It is no doubt encouraging and inciting certain people to violate the law, wanting to harm and actually harm law enforcement, their families, is unacceptable. I want to say I appreciate the discussions had with the governor, Mayor Fry, and the Attorney General. We've had frank, honest discussions. We don't agree on everything, but we do agree on the need for public safety, and we do agree that ICE has a role to enforce the immigration laws of this country. I would implore the governor and the AG and the mayor and other political officials to urge in the most strong and urgent way to ask for calm in the community and to end the resistance, the impediment, the interference, again, protest. But stop impeding, stop interfering, stop violating the law, because we will arrest you. In closing, President Trump and I would like to thank the men and women of ICE, Border Patrol, and other federal agencies on the ground here for your dedication to the oath you swore to enforce the federal laws and promote public safety through the work you do. That hasn't been easy. I know the sacrifices you made. I know the sacrifices your families make. I know your family's worried about you every day. I know you've been away from birthdays and anniversaries and holidays. I appreciate every one of you. I wore that green uniform. I love the United States Border Patrol. I was an ICE agent. I know the job you have. I know the tragedies you've seen. The President is with you. Again, I want to thank Governor Walz, Attorney General, and Mayor for their candid, insightful, productive discussions we had. Again, I'm not saying we agree on everything, but I think we all already accomplished great things in Minnesota. I am optimistic we will achieve even more in the coming days to make this city safer. I would also like to thank the numerous local law enforcement officials I was able to meet with the last 9 days since I arrived here. I appreciate hearing from local law enforcement, their perspective on what's happening. I appreciate the desire to enhance communications between their agencies and our agencies, and that communication has been.
From Hard
Border Czar Tom Homan right there, just starting to wrap up a press conference saying that they have made tremendous progress, like you just heard. He says they're cooperating with state prisons on illegals being in custody and not requiring jails to hold people past their normal release time. The big takeaways is that they will draw down 700 law enforcement personnel starting today. But at the same time, he says he refuses to put his officers at risk. So although they're drawing down 700 law enforcement personnel, he says that they will make sure that the officers who are there are still safe. Homan says ICE will continue to conduct its operations on the focus of national security. They're not going anywhere. They're continuing to do their jobs and getting these illegals off the streets. They will continue, he says, to enforce immigration laws in this country. And he says federal authorities will begin wearing body cams. We talked about that this week, body cameras on federal agents. He says the president is supportive of this decision because they have nothing to hide and will be fully transparent. Homan wrapping up that press conference now in Minneapolis. Also new this morning, U.S. forces have shot down an Iranian drone operating in a sensitive area of the Middle East. Following this news is Sierra Claire. She's a foreign policy expert. Sierra, thanks so much for being here with us this morning. According to military officials, this was an unmanned aircraft. It was deemed a potential threat as it came in close proximity of American personnel and assets. What's your takeaways on this drone that was near our U.S. personnel?
Yeah, well, this is the second one of these, Vanessa. And so luckily our naval personnel have been able to shoot those down with no further complications. But really, a lot of potential for escalation here because of the tensions already being so high. And I'm not sure what the Iranian regime is hoping to gain from this. I mean, obviously, these are intelligence gathering operations, but that's a pretty big risk on their part. I can tell you that the Iranian people, where they're at with it is they were excited because they were hoping it might spark up some more tensions and maybe lead to President Trump doing some strikes on Iran as he has talked about. Now, I don't know. President Trump has a lot of ways that he can respond, and so I think it's good that these issues have gone through with no further escalation. But it's just interesting to see from the Iranian people's side. They're definitely not afraid of things heating up here.
Yeah, and the U.S. defense systems were activated. They successfully intercepted that drone. No injuries or damage. But it goes back, this was the USS Abraham that they were around and maybe targeting. We don't know, but that was shot down. And Sierra, I see this when it comes across and I'm thinking, okay, like you just mentioned, President Trump has many different angles that he can go with this, and maybe they're testing the waters. Iran is to see what he will do, or to maybe make their next move in this chess game.
Yeah, absolutely. And they're also leading up to these diplomatic talks that they're scheduling for Friday. And so, a lot of mind games potentially going on here. Maybe the Iranians are trying to show some kind of force or send some kind of message. But if they did, it didn't work out very well on their part because their drone got shot down, but without us even having to touch it.
Absolutely. Well, that's the best military in the world. And so we would have pretty much bet on that before we even knew this was going to happen. I'm sure they did as well. But we'll continue to follow what's happening with the talks with Iran. I have different things I want to talk to you about today. One of them being to the United States and India reaching a major trade agreement aimed at easing months of tariff tension. Now, this will boost bilateral commerce. We have this post from the president. He was talking about that this week. What is your take on what's going on with that agreement?
Well, this agreement is really key for a couple of reasons. Number one reason just being the media, the global media has been after President Trump, as you know, as we've covered, that his tariffs are failing, that he's causing all kinds of tensions, that he's losing allies by imposing these tariffs and making trade fair for America. And India was a big one that they said, it's a mistake on Trump's part to lose a relationship with India. And in fact, we're seeing again, this is the fake news. Trump has a great relationship with India. They got this trade deal done. Him and Modi exchanged birthday messages to each other a couple months ago. And then you saw President Trump praised him on that Truth Social post. So really strong relationship there with India. And the other part of this deal is that it may affect the Russia-Ukraine peace talks. President Trump put out a statement earlier this week saying that he is, for the first time, feeling positive about the progress on Russia-Ukraine. And this India trade deal with India agreeing to buy Venezuelan oil and U.S. oil and draw down on their Russian oil purchases is having a big effect on that. And it's going to move along these peace talks and potential diplomacy on that part and see a lot of progress there.
I'm glad you mentioned Russia, because that was going to be my next question to you, how Russia played a part in all of this. You just answered that question. So we'll continue to watch that as well. Also, Cuba. There's been a lot of talk since we went into Venezuela and got the leader there. President Trump having conversations with Cuban leaders. I believe, Sierra, it's in the beginning stages, dealing with fuel supply. President Trump was asked about this recently on Fox News. Let's listen to that and then get your take.
Get to that.
I know, but it's unbelievable.
Can Cuba survive without Venezuelan oil? I don't see how it can.
Can who survive?
Cuba.
No, Cuba totally relies on Venezuela for money and for oil, and they give Venezuela protection. That was always the deal. They're very tough. They're good soldiers. They got wiped out, as you know.
Yeah.
3 days ago, wiped out. I don't want to even say how many, but they got wiped out. But Cuba gives protection to Venezuela, and Venezuela gives Cuba money through oil.
Yeah.
And it's worked that way for a long time.
You talked about...
But it doesn't work that way anymore. So I don't know what Cuba's going to do. I think Cuba's going to fail. I don't think there are any alternatives for Cuba.
I don't know how they survive without
We
Venezuelan
have
energy.
great people from Cuba. Marco Rubio is great. He knows Cuba very
Some
well.
people said, somebody told me today it was Marco's revenge.
Well, maybe it was, but they a lot of great people.
Yeah.
A lot of great people. We'll see what happens.
Well, you live in
we
South
want
Florida.
to do something to help Cuba.
Yeah. Let me, you mentioned Vladimir Putin.
You know the Cubans I want to help? I want to help the Cubans in the United States that got treated so badly by Castro.
Let's talk about the first part of that, how Cuba needs Venezuela.
Right. Well, Venezuela was providing Cuba with oil at a very large discount or even free in some cases. And in exchange, Cuba was providing those guards that you actually saw in some of that footage from the Maduro raid. Those were Cuban guards. They provided other security services to Venezuela. And so now without that, they were getting some fuel from Mexico, and I believe President Trump has also worked on that, worked on a deal with Mexico, so that they are also kind of withdrawing a lot of what they were providing as well, and basically just isolating that Cuban regime.
Yeah, and President Trump, the second part of that, Sierra, talking about the Cuban Americans here in the States. Florida is a neighbor right there close to Cuba. The Cuban population is massive there, for example, and the people here are escaping that regime, like he just mentioned, and, trying to find a better life. So I have to think, one of the first countries that I thought about whenever we went into Venezuela was Cuba, because those people know what it's like to live under that type of dictatorship. And so, Sierra, they have to have some hope that things will get better for them under President Trump.
Absolutely, Vanessa. We have a very strong lobby here, as you mentioned, from a lot of lawmakers from Florida, who are have Cuban ties, and they are, kind of representing those interests as well. And like you said, the Cuban people, they are hoping for freedom. They are hoping for relief. They've been living, in scarcity for decades, and what we're seeing with a recent post from the State Department actually said, advising Americans not to travel to Cuba because of fuel shortages causing widespread electric grid outages, that could affect things like hospitals and traffic lights. So, kind of a higher dangerous situation. And so what that is signaling to me is that this fuel crisis is real. We've heard kind of mentions of it here and there, but it's happening as we speak, and what President Trump is predicting and wanting to happen is currently happening. The regime is starved, and they're going to have to make a deal with President Trump. They don't have a choice.
While I have you, we have a couple of minutes left here, Sierra. While I have you, we've talked about Iran, we've talked about Venezuela, Cuba. There are members in Congress and some of the Democrats who are saying President Trump is putting so much focus on other countries that he needs to worry about his homeland, but he's doing both. The naysayers are saying that he ran on the promise of America first, but I think they're failing to realize that whenever we have these great relationships with other countries, that helps out America. What's your take when you see these comments? I see them all the time, almost every day. People, the naysayers out there saying, why is he worried about what's going on in the Middle East or in Venezuela when he should be worried about his home turf? Your reaction to those critics?
Well, Vanessa, I would say there's a couple things. The first thing is that we cannot forget history. The President Trump's term is not happening in a vacuum. And what Biden did made the whole world so much more dangerous. And the big example of that is allowing that Russia-Ukraine war to happen that Trump has said he would have never let happen. And I believe him. And so then there's these problems that do require the United States and the White House to turn focus outward. And the second part of that is that, as you talked about, President Trump is protecting American interests. This is America first. These relationships do serve domestic policy. All of these trade deals help our economy. Energy dominance helps us have strategic competition with China and not be dependent on them and have national security, compromising national security by, relying on China for critical things. So all of this stuff is also serving the domestic agenda at the same time, and they do work together. And then some of these things, the Cuban regime, the Maduro regime, the Iran regime, people looking at, like you said, oh, why is he looking at the Middle East? Because this is a real opportunity, and President Trump is one of the few who can manage it responsibly because he's established such peace through strength. And so taking down some of these regimes that have just been persistent problems for America, it might not seem like an immediate need, but the opportunity is, there, and President Trump wants to look at it and see what he can do about it.
When you grade President Trump, Senator Marco Rubio, he mentioned him earlier in that interview on Fox News about being from Cuba. Sierra, I have to ask you what grade you would give them so far 1 year into his administration and what they're doing with everything abroad.
I would say an A. I would give him an A. Maybe not an A plus just yet. We'll see. We'll see about this Iran thing. But really they've just done so well. And Marco Rubio, was kind of a surprise, I think, coming from the Hill, and nobody really knew what he was going to be like as Secretary of State, and you've just seen him grow into that role. A lot of people saying he's the best Secretary of State we've ever had. So really great job with the team there.
I agree with you. And then I want everyone to follow you. We appreciate you coming on whenever there's lots to talk about with foreign policy, and then also some of the articles you send our way to put on LINDELLTV.com. But you're also on Substack. How can people follow you?
Yeah, my Substack is sierranock.substack.com, and I'm also on X at Cerise Dumatin.
I like it. All right, Sierra, always a pleasure to have you. I know you're in California, and so it's a little early for you now joining us, but we appreciate you coming on and giving us updates.
Thanks so much, Vanessa.
And we're going to take a quick break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Let's face it, you can't trust Big Pharma. They've already tried to block ivermectin, hydroxychloroquine, and raise prices on everything from antibiotics to your daily meds. Well, there's good news. All Family Pharmacy is standing up for medical freedom and helping people get the treatments they actually want. My family and I use them all the time. They made it easy and affordable without the runaround. While other pharmacies are jacking up prices, they've actually dropped theirs. Ivermectin now starts at just $2 a capsule. Use my promo code LINDELL10, you get an extra 10% off of that. You need ivermectin, antibiotics, or methylene blue, you name it, they've got it. They make it simple. You fill out a short online form, a licensed doctor reviews it, and your meds ship fast right to your front door. If you want to be prepared and have your medications on hand, this is your new pharmacy. Visit allfamilypharmacy.com/Lindell. Promo code LINDELL10 saves you even more. That's allfamilypharmacy.com/Lindell. Promo code LINDELL10. For the first time ever, we're bringing you My Pillow mattresses and mattress toppers for as low as $99.98. Remember, sleep's all about temperature and pressure points. Whatever sleep needs you have, we have the right technology for you. Like our My Pillow mattress topper, our queen size has over 10,000 individual comfort supports to help relieve your pressure points. And how about our 3-inch Hybrid Plus mattress topper? It's infused with copper and silver to help your body get the restorative sleep it needs. And our My Pillow and Case Coil mattresses, I personally helped develop these mattresses to make sure they have everything needed to give us great sleep. Plus, they're made right here in the USA, and they ship right to your front door absolutely free. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use this promo code to get MyPillow mattresses and toppers for as low as $99.98 and free shipping. If you want to drop extra pounds, boost energy levels, and reduce swelling in your legs and feet, then this message is for you. Pure Health Research is on a mission to make America healthy again, and two of their best-selling health supplements are leading the way. First is Liver Health Formula. Over 100 million Americans have a sluggish liver that's riddled with fatty deposits. This can kill your metabolism, pile on the pounds, and make you feel tired. Liver Health Formula takes care of that. It supports thriving liver health with special nutrients like artichoke extract and milk thistle. This is one of the easiest ways to slim down and revitalize your energy levels. Next is lymph system support. If you struggle with fluid buildup or swelling in your legs, ankles, and feet, this is for you. The natural ingredients in lymph system support help gently flush away extra fluid and toxins out of your body. And right now, for a limited time, you get 35% off Liver Health Formula and Lymph System Support, along with 50 plus other health supplements that Pure Health Research has to offer. So head over to purehealthresearch.com and use promo code Lindell at checkout. That's purehealthresearch.com, promo code Lindell to save 35% on your order today.
Welcome back to My Mornings with Vanessa. Good to have you here with us on this Wednesday. Let's go to Louisiana, where federal immigration agents have arrested a New Orleans police recruit before he ever made it on the streets. ICE confirms agents detained the trainee who is here illegally, they say, during processing at the New Orleans Police Academy this week. Officials say the recruit was flagged during a background review for immigration violations.
We have a new development that we know that you are not aware of yet, but we also know that it will become a newsworthy item, and therefore we're going to go ahead and share it with you. We don't have a lot that I can tell you. But as of this morning, ICE did indeed take into custody one of our police recruits who was we hired and was in the police academy at the time. We've had conversations with ICE regarding this. There was no struggle involved in any of it. The person was actually, the recruit was taken into custody without any incident whatsoever. So what you would want to know about this particular person is that on our end, when we were doing the hiring process, there was nothing that was in the packet that would have us have reason to believe that this person did not have legal status. There is some question that may have developed later, but there was a signed order by a judge for his removal back in December. We hired him way before.
All right, well, that man has been removed from the academy. As you can imagine, he will not continue training. The investigation is still ongoing. But while ICE does its job, Kristi Noem is doing hers as well on the border with Border Patrol, ensuring walls are still going up, barriers in the water all along the southern border. These newly released photos show the work continuing to be done. Well, in case you missed it, Bill and Hillary Clinton have agreed to testify before the House Oversight Committee. They failed to show up last month after subpoenas were issued, and just before the House was set to vote to hold the Clintons in contempt of Congress, they then agreed to testify. The dates now set for February 26th and February 27th. They'll do so separately. Here's the president's reaction.
Today we heard that the Clintons set deposition dates to testify before the House Oversight Committee. Any reaction to that related to the Epstein?
I think it's a shame, to be honest. I always liked him. Her, yeah, she's a very capable woman. She was better in debating than some of the other people, I will tell you that. She was smart woman. I hate to see it in many ways. I hate to see it, but then I look at me. They went after me like. They wanted me to go to jail for the rest of my life. Then it turned out I was innocent, very innocent. I had a friend that said, a very smart friend, he's a very wealthy man, knows the life, streetwise guy. He said, you have to be the most honest person anywhere in the world because there's never been anybody who's been examined up and down. You know, I have hundreds of thousands of pages of documents, millions of pages. With all of that, they found absolutely nothing wrong. Remember, his tax returns, they fought for years and years. And then the Supreme Court, I was surprised, they ruled I had to give my tax returns. I'm the only one that had to ever do that. But I had to give my tax returns. I gave my tax returns. They hired the best accounting firms in the world. They found nothing.
We're told the testimony will be public. We'll have full coverage for you on those days. Again, mark your calendars, February 26th and 27th. As many of you know, Netflix, it has gone woke. The shows with cartoons, all of the movies that they're doing. A lot of people are saying that they don't like what they're seeing anymore on Netflix. Many have canceled their subscriptions because of children's cartoons showing trans kids and same-sex couples at such an early age. Well, are they grooming our children? It seems to be the case. That's what a lot of people are saying. The Netflix CEO testified on Capitol Hill about the acquisition of Warner Brothers, but he was also interrogated about content. Here's more from Congressman Josh Hawley.
Why is it that so much of Netflix content for children promotes a transgender ideology? Almost half of your content for children, I'm talking about minor children now, I'm not talking about teenagers, minor children, promotes a transgender ideology agenda. I was just looking at the data here from your various series. And what concerns me is just 2 days ago, a jury in New York awarded a former transitioner $2 million because she said that her psychologists and others pressured her into, they pushed on her an ideology that proved to be extremely detrimental. I'm sure you know that in the UK, the National Health Service in the UK has said that they're not going to perform transgender surgeries or any longer so-called gender-affirming care for minors, including in counseling, because it is so incredibly detrimental. Our own HHS has come forward with similar findings this past year, yet if you turn on Netflix, you'll find that an enormous amount, and I say this as a parent with 3 young children, an enormous amount of your children's programming has this ideology and agenda in it. Is this an advocacy position for Netflix? Is this an ideological commitment you have? I mean, why is this?
Senator Hawley, Netflix has no political agenda of any kind. I would tell you that.
Well, then why is your children's program so full of this highly sexualized, highly controversial agenda? I don't understand it. It seems strange to me.
Respectfully, sir, it's because it's inaccurate. We have millions of hours of children's programming.
You're saying it's not there. You don't have trans. You don't feature trans characters, trans storylines, trans themes. It's not in your programming.
I'm saying we feature a wide variety of stories and programs to meet a wide variety of people's tastes.
Why is almost half of it? Why does almost half of your children's program feature this highly controversial, highly sexualized material? That just seems strange to me. It can't possibly be a reflection of the population.
Senator Hawley, I don't have any idea where that number would come from or what that would be. I don't believe that's been your personal experience, but I can't speak to that.
Well, what do you mean you don't think it's been my personal experience? You don't think that I monitor what my children watch on your... Here's what I tell you what my personal experience is since you bring it up. My personal experience is that my 3 children, I can't let them watch anything they want on Netflix. I can't let them watch anything on Netflix unless I preview it, because I don't have confidence in what's on your platform. I don't know what they're going to encounter, and I tell you what, I don't want my kids being pushed an agenda about their sexuality or gender identity when I have not had the opportunity first to discuss it with them and to form them in that. And I, frankly, on behalf of parents around the country, it offends me that Netflix is pushing this content at parents in what seems to be a very coordinated, thought through, planned out agenda in a way that, frankly, I think undermines parents, certainly undermines me and my wife. We have to watch every show beforehand before we can let our kids watch it. Now, I don't know. That seems pretty concerning to me. I know you make a gob of money on it, and maybe that's the answer. But it just seems to me that it's a disservice to the parents of this country, particularly given what's happening with our youth on this subject.
Senator, if I may answer, like I said, we have millions of hours of content on Netflix at any given time. We have state-of-the-art tools for you to manage those choices for your children and to block any title that you might be offended by for any reason. So we are parents at Netflix as well. We share all your concerns about raising kids and also the ability to raise them as you see fit in your household and anyone else's household as well.
My concern is that you don't share my values or those of many other American parents, and you want the United States government to allow you to become one of the largest, if not the largest streaming monopolist in the world. I think we ought to be concerned about what content you're promoting.
We are concerned. Like Congressman Hawley said, I took Netflix off. I had to monitor what my child was watching on Netflix, every single cartoon. So like many others, I canceled my subscription. Lawmakers on both sides, not just Republicans, but Republicans and Democrats have expressed concerns about Netflix's dominance in streaming and the broader entertainment landscape, worrying that the merger could reduce competition and hurt consumers. Again, you're watching My Mornings with Vanessa. We have more to come. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
For the first time ever, we're bringing you My Pillow mattresses and mattress toppers for as low as $99.98. Remember, sleep's all about temperature and pressure points. Whatever sleep needs you have, we have the right technology for you. Like our My Pillow mattress topper, our queen size has over 10,000 individual comfort supports to help relieve your pressure points. And how about our 3-inch Hybrid Plus mattress topper? It's infused with copper and silver to help your body get the restorative sleep it needs. And our My Pillow and Case Coil mattresses, I personally helped develop these mattresses to make sure they have everything needed to give us great sleep. Plus, they're made right here in the USA, and they ship right to your front door, absolutely free. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use this promo code to get MyPillow mattresses and toppers for as low as $99.98 and free shipping. Are you taking advantage of President Trump's golden age? Or what if I told you can just sit back and earn money as President Trump continues to repair our economy and make America energy independent again? I'm talking about oil royalty checks. With the help of the Oxford Club, thousands of Americans have unlocked this secret hack that has put money back in hardworking American pockets. Financial expert and LINDELLTV supporter Mark Litchenfield has showed me how. It's a way to profit from America's energy production that's been working quietly for decades, even when oil companies were struggling. So go to LindellOilBoom.com to find out how this all works and why it's relevant right now. That's LindellOilBoom.com.
Welcome to Vocal, the free speech social app that gives you a platform to amplify your voice. Speak freely, connect boldly, and be part of a growing movement for truth, faith, and freedom. Want to know what's happening right now? The Now Playing feature shows you exactly who's live and what's streaming in real time. Check out the show's feed, a non-stop lineup including LINDELLTV News 24/7, shows and on-demand programming all in one place. Connect with your favorite host and never miss a show. Explore the featured page for quick access to LINDELLTV's top shows. Follow your favorites and watch their newest content flow right into your feed. And when they go live on Vocal, you can join the live chat and be part of the action. Ask questions, share your thoughts, even help shape future shows. Stay informed on issues around securing our elections by following your state's Cause of America account. Join a group and connect on a deeper level, from faith and freedom to the future of our nation. Go to Vocal.com or download the app today and be a part of the mission to save our country.
Let's take a look at opening bell over on Wall Street, like we do every morning here. Taking a look at the numbers, the Dow doing well this morning, the S&P 500, NASDAQ all down just a little bit, but we're seeing more green on the big board, so that's good to see in the early morning hours. Here's what investors are watching. Tech stocks, precious metals like gold are climbing, which can signal caution among investors, and also upcoming earnings reports from large companies and jobs reports are influencing trade sentiment. Looking at your news to go now as you start your day, just real quick, First Lady Melania Trump will meet freed American Israeli hostage Keith Siegel today. The two will have a private sit-down conversation. Siegel was released by Hamas on February 1st of last year. Again, the First Lady will meet with him this afternoon. We'll have coverage on that. And all of your other news headlines can also be found on LINDELLTV.com. You can follow us there, also on our social media pages. And we leave you today in prayer. Our Bible verse of the day comes from the book of Proverbs. The Bible says, "He who neglects discipline despises himself, but he who listens to reproof acquires understanding." And that'll do it for us here this morning. For Breaking News 24/7, make sure you're following me as well on social media. And we'll see you same time, same place tomorrow. Have a good day, America.
Let's face it, you can't trust Big Pharma. They've already tried to block ivermectin, hydroxychloroquine, and raise prices on everything from antibiotics to your daily meds. Well, there's good news. All Family Pharmacy is standing up for medical freedom and helping people get the treatments they actually want. My family and I use them all the time. They made it easy and affordable without the runaround. While other pharmacies are jacking up prices, they've actually dropped theirs. Ivermectin now starts at just $2 a capsule. Use my promo code LINDELL10, you get an extra 10% off of that. You need ivermectin, antibiotics, or methylene blue, you name it, they've got it. They make it simple. You fill out a short online form, a licensed doctor reviews it, and your meds ship fast right to your front door. If you want to be prepared and have your medications on hand, this is your new pharmacy. Visit allfamilypharmacy.com/Lindell. Promo code LINDELL10 saves you even more. That's allfamilypharmacy.com/Lindell. Promo code LINDELL10. For the first time ever, we're bringing you MyPillow mattresses and mattress toppers for as low as $99.98. Remember, sleep's all about temperature and pressure points. Whatever sleep needs you have, we have the right technology for you. Like our MyPillow mattress topper, our queen size has over 10,000 individual comfort supports to help relieve your pressure points. And how about our 3-inch Hybrid Plus mattress topper? It's infused with copper and silver to help your body get the restorative sleep it needs. And our MyPillow and Case Coil mattresses, I personally helped develop these mattresses to make sure they have everything needed to give us great sleep. Plus, they're made right here in the USA, and they ship right to your front door absolutely free. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use this promo code to get MyPillow mattresses and toppers for as low as $99.98 and free shipping. If you want to drop extra pounds, boost energy levels, and reduce swelling in your legs and feet, then this message is for you. Pure Health Research is on a mission to make America healthy again. And two of their best-selling health supplements are leading the way. First is Liver Health Formula. Over 100 million Americans have a sluggish liver that's riddled with fatty deposits. This can kill your metabolism, pile on the pounds, and make you feel tired. Liver Health Formula takes care of that. It supports thriving liver health with special nutrients like artichoke extract and milk thistle. This is one of the easiest ways to slim down and revitalize your energy levels. Next is lymph system support. If you struggle with fluid buildup or swelling in your legs, ankles, and feet, this is for you. The natural ingredients in lymph system support help gently flush away extra fluid and toxins out of your body. And right now, for a limited time, you get 35% off Liver Health Formula and Lymph System Support, along with 50 plus other health supplements that Pure Health Research has to offer. So head over to purehealthresearch.com and use promo code Lindell at checkout. That's purehealthresearch.com, promo code Lindell to save 30